Hey, welcome to another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about ActiveCampaign and how I think it's one of the best email marketing automation softwares for your business, especially in 2021 and going forward. So I'm going to be doing tutorial style, going through my account and giving you some of the tips, some of the strategies, some of the tricks that I've used and have used in working with my clients, set up their email marketing systems and their email automations, getting it all connected up to the website, just optimizing the use of the tool. I'm going to be sharing my screen in certain instances where you're actually going to be able to see the buttons that you need to click, get your account going, and get it set up. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you something special, a little bit of a bonus. Now, I'm not sponsored by ActiveCampaign. I am an affiliate with ActiveCampaign, so there will be a link in the description if you find this video useful. By all means, if you want to use the link, no worries at all. If you don't, no worries at all. I just want to give you value, and I just want to show you how ActiveCampaign can be used to manage your emails. And let's talk about why we want to use software, why we want to use ActiveCampaign or maybe ConvertKit or Aweber or GetResponse or any of these other tools. In my opinion, ActiveCampaign is one of the best ones. But let's cover the why. When it comes to list building or building your business on the internet, you want to start building an email list. Now, what does an email list actually give you? One, it gives you access to your audience. So you're watching this video on YouTube, you may be watching this on Facebook. And so because the platforms, YouTube and Facebook and all the other platforms, don't give us the ability to actually get the contact information from people watching or subscribing to the videos, it's very difficult for us to message those people, ask them questions, email them. You get comments maybe, from your videos, you get some interaction or maybe on your live streams, but you don't have a one-on-one relationship with them, right? Unless they're seeking out an event and they come to meet you, then fine, you can swap information. But by and large, you don't have access to that information. Now, why would you want access to that information? I just said it is because you want that one-on-one communication. You want that ability to be able to reach out to your people. One, if you're stuck. Two, if you have a product. Three is if you just want to share more information. Email by far is one of the best and has been one of the best ways to communicate with an audience, irrespective of size. And so if you're building your business online, then you definitely want to use some sort of software, because Gmail or any other email tool like Outlook or Yahoo or any of these systems, even if you're using a custom domain, has got limitations. In Gmail, you can only send one email to 100 people at a time, and that's through either a copy, right, or a blind copy. You have limitations there, and you don't want to be marked as spam. You don't want your emails to go into the trash. You don't want your domain's reputation to go by the wayside just because you cheaped out on not using software. Now, that's why these softwares are available, is because they, one, protect your domain, they protect your reputation on the internet. So if you're using a software like this, they throttle emails out. You can send 1 million emails out and they'll make sure that the delivery is to the best of their ability. And it makes sure that you don't have to actually physically segment people, because you can do segmentations and all these other fancy things inside of the software. I don't recommend you send emails to 1 million people in one hit. You definitely want to split those emails up by segmentation, and I'm going to be covering segmentation later on in this video. In the description, you'll see all the timestamps of the different features that and sort of topics that I'm going to be covering while I'm sharing my screen and actually showing you my account. And so you can skip to any part of that, any part of the video to learn more or go into a little bit more detail into those areas, or so you can just find the pieces that you need specifically. Let's get into ActiveCampaign. I'm going to go to the homepage right now, just so you know what the homepage looks like. And they're sort of, using automation and customer experience as their main sort of hook. And that's important because, one, when you're automating your business, you're saving yourself some time. Time is our most valuable resource. And so, we want to automate things so that if we're sending 1 million emails out, we don't have to send one email at a time. Or even if we're hiring a team, we don't want this process to actually communicate with our audience or our email list, our subscribers, to take a bunch of time, right? We want to be able to automate things. And then from a customer experience point of view, you're going to give good customer experience to your people when you communicate with them, right? Depending on the information you give, the value you bring to them, the information that you're going to give them, the products that you're going to share with them through your emails, is going to be one of the most important things, and things that people value you for. Like this video, hopefully it's going to be helpful in actually guiding you through ActiveCampaign, and hopefully that helps you save some time in terms of trying to figure out how to use the tool, and maybe it'll help you make a decision to actually use my affiliate link and get the tool. So if you want that affiliate link, it's down in the description, but I'll talk a little bit about what you get when you use my link at the end of the video. So let's go into my account. And so when you log into your account, you sign up, it'll send you through a wizard, and it'll give you sort of steps that you need to do to set up your account. So it's going to ask you for an email address. It's going to ask you for your address that you have for your business. And that's important because every single email that we send out must have an address. Otherwise, it will be marked as spam. And also so that people who are opening your emails understand and they can see that it's a legitimate business. So this is just one of the things that email software providers like ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, and all of these other tools have used to figure out ways to get their emails delivered. And also Gmail and all these other service providers, Outlook, the platforms that are actually receiving your emails, use as a filter to filter out spam. And I'm not going to go into too much of detail there, but these are just some of the basic things. When you sign up for your ActiveCampaign account, one of the things you need to make sure is that you're using an email address that is a domain email address. So when you're emailing out of your ActiveCampaign account or any other software, you need to use an email account that's a domain name, not a gmail.com, not a yahoo.com, not a AOL, because those emails in the past were used as spam emails, and so all of these service providers have gotten smart to the fact that, well, we want legitimate businesses to be emailing a lot of people at the same time. So welcome to my account. This is like a fairly new account. I've got it connected to my website, and so you won't see a lot of information in it, which is perfect for this video, but I'm going to cover sort of some of the main things. So before we actually go into the menu structure and the way to navigate ActiveCampaign, like I said, you'll sign into your overview or your dashboard, and you'll have this menu on the left-hand side. And this menu will collapse as we work in the account or we go to different pages, but I just want to go through an overview. You've got your contacts, where your main list of people, subscribers are. You've got campaigns, and the terminology is important. So try to remember these, or grab a piece of paper and just make notes. So campaigns are single emails that you're going to be sending to a list of people, right? So that's important. And I'll cover the lists here in a second. The lists are lists of people that you've themed or that you've put into different buckets, or you've categorized them in a way where it makes sense to you to know who they are and where they came from. I'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit here as well. You've got automations. So automations is where you're not going to be sending one email. You're going to be sending people through, maybe you have a list that you're going to be sending people through a sequence of emails. So it's timed emails, maybe one day after the other, or 5 days apart, or whatever your sequencing is, and you get to select behaviors inside of those automations so that certain people get some emails and certain other people get other emails. And again, I'll be covering that in a little bit here. Conversations, this is a paid tool that ActiveCampaign has added in maybe about a year or 2 years ago, and it's basically live chat for your website, where anybody who starts chatting to you, you can have them opt in to your email lists and become leads in your business. I don't have access to that feature, but that's something that you may want to look at if you've got a ton of traffic on your website and you want to start having conversations with your leads. Another feature that is not listed in my account is the CRM feature, or deals. Again, I haven't upgraded my account to to use that because I use a different system for my CRM, but I will be doing another video in the future. So if you want to check that video out, subscribe to the video and notify yourself. Click the notification bell so that you actually can see that video once it's released. Site is the connection to your site, and you can also have it has a landing page builder where you can create a page where you want to have people opt in. Again, this is a new feature. It's still very, very new. It's still a little buggy, but this is where also you're going to use forms to put those forms on your website. Reports look at all the stats on your account and how to actually figure out which emails are working, what people are clicking on, which emails are being opened by your clients or by your subscribers. What's the best day to send your emails? What's the best time to send your emails? All of these things. And then I'm going to go into the settings and some of these other things in a little bit here. One of the main things that when you get your account or when you start setting up your account after the wizard, I would recommend you go into the lists first. When you go into your lists, and you'll see here, there's a bunch of lists that I've set up, and I've got them categorized by business. So these are the different brands that I have inside of my account. And then I've got this master contact list, which I'm actually not using. And then I've got website subscribers, all of these things. So if you think of lists as an overall theme, right, these are people that have booked appointments with me. Now, I'm not specifically saying what type of appointment from this sort of list of lists, but this is the bucket where anybody who's actually booked an appointment with me, they were a subscriber perhaps, but then they booked an appointment with me. And so that's important because when you're trying to segment people, you want to sort of use a hierarchy of events. So you're using like a main theme, and let's say you say website subscribers, anybody who comes through your website, and then based on the form or based on the page that they opted in on, or based on the landing page they landed on and opted in to your list, you can then tag them within that list. And so list is sort of the main theme, and then you have tags underneath that where you can tag based on whatever you want to. You can name your tags however you want to, where you can say this specific appointment was a free consultation, or this specific appointment was a paid consultation, or maybe you have a list for members of your online program or your course. So then you could say online course members as a list, and then you have tags based on the product or the course that they bought. If you have multiple products, multiple courses, then you tag them with each course. Maybe you have webinars. You use webinars to promote your business, to promote your products. One, you're generating leads from those webinars. What you would do is have a list for webinar subscribers or webinar registrations, and then you'd tag people based on their behavior in that webinar. First, you tag them of the webinar that they've subscribed to, and tag them with whatever behavior. So you'd say they attended the webinar, or maybe they didn't attend the webinar, or maybe they bought something from you from that webinar, watch the replay of the webinar. All of these different activities you can control and manage within ActiveCampaign, so that you have information so that you can start sending emails that are relevant to people. And I'll cover that in the automations feature now. The next thing I want to talk about are fields. So fields are basically the placeholders that you have which will store information about your people. Now, ActiveCampaign comes standard with first name, last name, email, phone number, account, and job title. But what I've done is I've added a bunch of other fields here where I can now store their Facebook handle, right? So the link to their Facebook account, the Instagram handle, their website URL. If they have a website, then I can store that here. If they've booked meetings with me, I can store the date of the meeting, the time of the meeting, the type of the meeting, and what the outcome of the meeting was. So for example, if somebody booked on whatever the date is tomorrow at 5 p.m. For a free consultation, and the outcome of the meeting was that they were thinking about the offer that I was going to give them. So now when I go and find this person in my contacts list, right over here, now I can see that this person actually booked a meeting. And let's say 1 year from now, 1 year from now, we can see that they came to a webinar. If we go and that webinar is connected to ActiveCampaign, we can go into their contact record and we can see that, oh, they were a subscriber from before on this particular form because of this specific thing. And now we have context when we're speaking to them on the phone on a free consultation, or when we're emailing them, we can maybe use some of that information because we know that this lead, this subscriber, has been with us for a while. They've been subscribed for a while. So they've been indoctrinated, maybe they're watching content on YouTube or whatever. They subscribed, they came to our website, they came to see our blog, whatever the case may be. And so that gives us context around sort of what they're going to do. And so that's fields in a nutshell. And you can create fields for whatever you want. It's unlimited in terms of the number of fields, and you can group those fields through the grouping. So like I've got bookings as a group, and so when you want to add a group, just name the group, and then you drop the fields into the group so that it's organized. And now let's talk about forms. So if you go here to the site section of ActiveCampaign, you'll see a menu on the left that'll open up. So in the forms section, what we're going to do is use the forms to actually create the integration or create this space for where people can opt in for certain things. So if you go to my website, for example, I have got at the bottom of my website this email subscription where people can get weekly insights from me, right? And when they fill in this form, they're going to go into ActiveCampaign into this website subscribers form, right? Which means the website is connected directly to ActiveCampaign, and now they're going to go into the list, which is also for website subscribers. I hope that makes sense. So the form is the gateway. The form is the thing that connects your website or your landing page to your actual ActiveCampaign account. And that's important because when it comes to integrations, you want people to come into your ActiveCampaign as quickly as possible so that you can send them those emails through an automation. Another thing to look at when you're actually setting up your account in the settings is, number one, like I said, you've got to have your account and all your email address and all of those things filled in. You've also got to have your address filled in. I'm not going to open that right now. Fields you can go to and access from here. It'll open up the fields list. You've got to have your developer API and things set up. If you're using a WordPress website, then you can actually use a plugin, the ActiveCampaign plugin, to connect your website to ActiveCampaign through the API. So that's great. The other thing you need in the settings is tracking. Now, this is not mandatory, but I would say it's nice that you do this, is actually have the tracking enabled. So when somebody visits your website, you can see what those people have, what that person has done on your website. And because of the domains that you've set up and you've added to your account, you're telling ActiveCampaign to track activity on these domains, so you can pull out specific behaviors, like people going to a blog post or people going to a specific page on your website. How do you actually find leads? So I'm going to just go find my own account here. So I'm going to search my contacts, and you'll see that I've done a bunch of tests here. I'll be graying out some of this information because I don't want all of it to be available to everybody. But yeah, you can see that I've done some tests. I'm in a bunch of lists. You can see some of the information here. I haven't stored my website URL. I've got this tag because I was testing my webinar opt-in. I'm in these various lists, and the green check mark basically means that I am subscribed. And if I wanted to unsubscribe, I could just unsubscribe myself from here. Those are where the statuses are of each individual person. And then any fields that I've set up under any of those groupings, under the manage fields thing, will go into here. If I wanted to send an email directly to somebody just on a one-off, I could hit here, send an email over here. And if I had a saved response, like a canned response where it's pre-written, I could use a saved response template from here. I could add notes to the contact record, and the recent activity shows you sort of all the campaigns that you've sent, the automations that they're in, and different lists that they subscribe to. Basically, this is the history of the contact. And so you can see that a year ago is when I actually started this account. All right, so that covers email tracking and how to actually find your contacts. Let's talk about segmentation, and I'm going to tie that into tags and lists right now. So if I go to my main contact list, and again, I will be clearing this out, but if I go filter this, or stop the filter, um, under the advanced search, this is where we're able to start sort of segmenting or finding things based on what people have done. And so let's say we're looking for a tag that somebody has where, the tag, they have the tag where it's their website subscribers. So we click on that, we hit search, and so ActiveCampaign is now just going to show us the website subscribers. Now, of course, in my account, I have got my website subscribers in a separate list, but I can also now see that and make sure that all these website subscribers have been tagged as well. Another thing that's interesting here is if we wanted to look at specific actions, like are these people or how many people are in a specific list, we could do that. How many people are clicked on an email, we could do that. How many people have not opened a specific email, right? So if I hit here and I say, okay, from all of these campaigns, whatever the campaign is, which of the people has not opened this email, and so we can maybe resend them an email specifically based on that behavior. And when you have your account, you can definitely go check this out, based on a field. So, if people were, let's say they booked a meeting with me in a specific month and I wanted to do a promo to them for that month or whatever the case may be, just a hypothetical example, I can segment people, find those people for that. So this segmentation piece, you can save the segment and use it later on. So when you're actually sending a campaign, and this is kind of, I'm going to give you some tricks here to be able to send an email out. So let's say I wanted to create a campaign, and these are sort of pre-built templates or templates that I've made. And so when I want to send an email out, because I have this already made, all I do is I duplicate it so that I can have a copy of what I've sent in the past. And this is my naming convention that I generally use. Is I use the date in the first sort of thing, and let's say that I want to send this email out. I do know I have to send an email out tomorrow, and I'm just going to put here, this is your own name. So let's just say last email of the month. Generally, I would have an email title or a subject line in this field so that I can very easily figure out which email this is, and then the date also gives me a reference. So the next step in this process to send a campaign out is to select the list. Now, like I said, you can select people based on the lists that you have currently based on their activity, but you can also segment from here based on what you want to find. So again, like if I created a new segment, it's going to ask me for the conditions, and again you'll see this exact same menu to find the people that you want to find. And before you send the email, it'll confirm and show you the people that you want to send to. If you have any segments that are saved, those segments can be chosen from here. Any list that you've selected plus the segment that you've already pre-created will show up here, and then you basically know who you're sending to and you go next. And then you get to design your email. So the structure that I use is very straightforward and simple. I find that emails that have more text than images tend to get better open rates. They get delivered better. This is just historically from using email services over the years. And so this is just my format. I've got sort of a YouTube video embedded goodie here. So let's go through step by step. So these are blocks, right? And I'll show you the builders. This is a text block. You can have images, you can have button. This is the video block. So if I click to edit this video block, you'll see the YouTube link is in here, and I can change the properties of this block. along the side. So the builder is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy to look to understand. Again, it's got all the basic features that you need in an email builder. If you wanted to change the width of your of the email, you could go in here, and let's say you wanted to make it slightly narrower. So let's say 550, and so it does it for you there. I saw that in one of the comments on one of the other videos. If you want to change the subject line, you hit the gear. Now, because I've copied this email, it didn't give me the option to give me a subject line. But if I wanted to put an emoji, I could put an emoji in this subject line here. If I wanted to put pretext, I could do that here. The from email, which is very important, is the domain email you're going to be sending from. If you want people to reply, or you're expecting people to reply, you would put your email address here. Automatically generate a text version. There's certain people who use just normal text-based email software, and so that's going to strip all the images in your email, but the links for those images will be in the email, and so ActiveCampaign will manage that version of that email for you automatically. You want to definitely make sure mobile responsiveness is open, because most people are opening their emails on their phones. And then this is, again, a very important thing, is to actually test your email. So make sure that you're testing the email to multiple email addresses, and you can do multiple. So if you wanted to do a Gmail address here, you could do that. If you wanted to test Yahoo, you could do that, so that you actually see the email coming to you. So when you're testing the email, open the email in your Gmail, click on the links, make sure that the images are formatted properly, make sure the font sizes are all the right size, make sure that the links that you have there are all working. Click on every single link in that email, every single image that you've linked, to make sure that the thing that you want to give people in your emails and the visual sort of aspect of your email looks good. Like, even though my formatting is very straightforward, I've got this one font, and I've got a very basic sort of structure to the emails that I use for myself and for my clients, it's important that every single email looks good and looks professional. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people just throw up an email, not formatted properly, not test it, not test the links, and because of that, if you're sending to multiple thousands of people and you're wondering why you haven't made any sales from this email, then chances are it's because the link wasn't working, or the person who was sending the email out didn't test it. So you want to definitely make sure that all of those things work. And of course, I'm not going to be sending this email, but because I haven't edited it, I need to edit this email before I send it out. But this is basically the summary. It's obviously giving you an error because I used segmentation and I didn't finish that process. The address is over here. And then some options. So read tracking, this is important so that you can actually get the stats on your email. Link tracking, so ActiveCampaign can tell us which links were clicked on. Reply tracking, if somebody's replied to your email, you can turn that on so that ActiveCampaign actually see that people have replied to your emails. Google Analytics, this is something that will give you insights into your performance of your emails if you're sending them to, let's say, your website or to your YouTube channel or to other assets, landing pages or offers on maybe a Shopify store or whatever. And you get to customize that. And so those stats, the people visiting those websites, will actually show up in your Google Analytics account. And if you've got your e-commerce set up in your Google Analytics account, now you'll be able to see which emails are actually generating you money in your business. And there's a whole sort of psychology, and there's a whole lot of training that I need to do to actually show you how that works. If you're interested in that, definitely comment below and let me know that you want to see that in-depth training. You can schedule the campaign over here and again do a test. I'm going to save and exit that right now because we're not going to send this email right now. I haven't formatted or sent, prepared it. But this email now goes into draft. And so what's nice about this is, I can have sort of a bunch of emails that are lined up and ready to go. And so that gives me sort of a library of emails if I've pre-written them to schedule them to certain people or to for my newsletter or whatever the case may be. One of the other things that I'm going to cover is automations. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a brand new automation to give you sort of a demo of how this works. So when you go to the automations tab on the left here and you create an automation, these are recipes. Now, a recipe is, as you know, when you're cooking something in the kitchen, it's a method of it's a list of ingredients, and it's also a method of how to put those ingredients together to make the thing that you want to eat. So what's nice about ActiveCampaign is they've given us a bunch of pre-made templates by industry based on what you want to do, based on your niche, lots of different stuff. So if we look at sort of fitness and nutrition, let's say we want to send out, a weekly workout program, or we want to send out SMS reminders, or we want to send out, I don't know, a bunch of things. Maybe an upsell for, fitness tracking or fitness, whatever the case may be, right? So I'm gonna just do a very basic. Oh, here's a 7-day drip sequence. All right, so let's do a 7-day drip sequence. Usually I build these campaigns out, or these automations out from scratch, but let's use this as a template. So again, it's got a wizard, so it's going to guide you through the process, and I'm going to get started here. So now it's going to ask me, well, who is it that we want to send to? So let's say any list for now, but it would be specifically for a list, right? And then you'd basically just fill in the information. So we know that we've just selected the list, and we've selected any list, and at each step here are different things. So when we're sending an email, if we hit edit, it's going to take us through that campaign editor or the email editor so that we can actually go and write out that email, prepare this email. Right now it's in draft, which is perfectly fine because this automation isn't actually going to be live. It's inactive right now, so nobody can actually go into this automation and nobody will be sent these emails. And then let's say after they get the first email, we want them to wait for 1 day. And what's nice about this is we can also force ActiveCampaign to make people wait for the next email until a specific time. And there's a bunch of conditions that we can look at. And let's say we want to do current time for their time zone. We want to send the next email out 9 in the morning. So irrespective of what time that they opt in, they're going to get the next email at 9 in the morning. Now this is problematic because if they opt in at 8 in the morning, that means they're going to get this next email 2 or day 2 email within an hour from 8 in the morning. So these are just sort of things that you need to take into account when you're looking at your timing. So now what I need to do to get rid of this is select a new action. And so this gives me an opportunity to show you all the different actions that you can have. Sending options, so send an email, send an SMS. So ActiveCampaign does connect to Twilio to actually send SMSs out on your behalf. Send a notification to yourself, maybe to let yourself know that somebody has subscribed. And then there are conditions. So based on, the one that we want is to have people wait for 1 day. So I'm going to put that back in, and I'm going to remove this one. Great. If we want to look at other conditions, if else, so let's say somebody showed up for a webinar and then other people didn't show up for the webinar and they're tagged appropriately, we can use an if else statement to filter them based on the tag that they have or they don't have. If they reached a certain goal, and goals could be either a tag that they have been applied, so maybe somebody buys something on your website. From your website, it communicates to your ActiveCampaign account to say to your website, to ActiveCampaign, hey, put this tag in this person's contact record because they bought something. And then the goal we would use in the automation is to actually, for people to reach that goal, which means they're going to skip a whole bunch of emails, and they're actually going to reach that goal based on the fact that they have that tag. Now again, automation is a whole separate training. This video is already going on for sort of 30 odd minutes. And so, going into all of these things will take a little bit of a long time, but I want to just go through them briefly. And so you can see, you can start other automations, end this automation, end another automation. You can update a field, you can subscribe to and unsubscribe them from lists, you can add tags, You can have them connected to Twilio, like I said. You can, there's a bunch of integrations that they've started adding. Maybe you want a Slack channel to be notified when somebody subscribes. You want them to go into your Pipedrive CRM, whatever the case may be. So that's what automation is. It's behavior-based, either communication and also activities that you put into your email base, into your account, into your ActiveCampaign account, so that those people can get segmented, firstly, and so that you can get sort of very granular in multiple ways based on their behavior. And so again, that's like a whole nother training, but I don't want to spend the entire sort of video on that alone. There will be another video about that. So again, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you actually can get access to that video. And then one other thing I want to cover is the reporting feature. So under reports, like I said, we want to know which emails are doing well, which emails are not doing well. So you can see I've sent this email to 171 people and it's got a 14% open rate, which is okay. It's not too bad. It's a small list. This email got 10%, this email got 7%, this email got 24%. So you can see based on subject lines, emails are resonating with different people. And based on click-throughs, 2.5, 2.6, 1.49, 4%, 3%, I get an indication on the campaigns I've sent what people have done when I've sent them emails. And under automations, they're going to give you the same data for the automations in each email that you're sending out from your automations. And they've just added this feature recently to show custom reports. Basically, ActiveCampaign in a nutshell. I want to go through and just talk about pricing quickly because I've seen a lot of people struggle with pricing and specifically how to look at pricing. So when it comes to ActiveCampaign, you may think that it's slightly more expensive than a lot of the other tools out there, but based on what you get from ActiveCampaign, it's fairly comprehensive, right? And the way that they work is via number of contacts. So if you've got 1,000 contacts, you can see your plan goes up. And based on the features you want, you want the landing page builder, you want scoring, you want the SMS features, custom branding on landing pages, like, they've got a whole host of things. You're going to pay a different amount. The level that I always recommend my clients is $49. And, I would recommend if you want to start with ActiveCampaign, there'll be a link in the description that you can actually go get a free trial on my affiliate link. And you can start with a free trial. I think it's a 14-day trial using my link, and you can go test the system out. Obviously, if you want to start on a monthly basis, you can toggle the switch and go to that. If you want to do yearly, which I recommend because you can save a little bit of money, that's probably the best. If you've watched the end of this tutorial, definitely let me know in the comments what you thought of the tutorial. If there's anything you want me to cover specifically about ActiveCampaign, and definitely let me know sort of what are your goals for your email marketing in 2021. Let me know what you're up to, what your business is about. And if you like this video, definitely hit the like, because the like helps us sort of grow the channel. Obviously the subscription as well, but the like tells me that you like this video and you want to see more content like this. So with that being said, that was my tutorial on actually how to use ActiveCampaign in your business. I personally think it's one of the best email marketing softwares available today. It's not the perfect. I don't believe there's any perfect tool out there, but it's going to get you going. It's going to give you all the resources that you need to be able to up-level your email marketing or just your email communication and your customer experience. Again, I'm not being paid by ActiveCampaign. This was just a video that I wanted to show because I've seen a lot of people struggle with ActiveCampaign, a lot of people online looking for tutorials, and so I figured as a user and as somebody who uses ActiveCampaign for my clients and recommends it to my clients as well, I think it's good information for you. So with that being said, thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button again if you enjoyed the video, notify yourself with the notification bell, and like it if you like the video. Comment below and let me know anything I left out or anything that you want to see in the future. I look forward to making more videos for you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.